We are now 7 days away into the Nintendo Switch 2 in Mario Kart World. It just doesn't seem real. I'm super excited to get my hands on this console and of course play endless amounts of hours of Mario Kart World. And as my job is to literally just continue the hype for the next 7 days before we talk about all this Mario Kart World goodness, there's a lot going on in the world of Nintendo right now regarding the Switch 2 and regarding potentially Nintendo's big holiday plans this year. Not to mention, it seems like Nintendo might be doing something huge that they actually have never done before this summer, but we'll get into all that in a second. First, I want to thank today's sponsor, Manta Sleep Mask. So Manta sent me this awesome sound sleep mask, and as someone who actually struggles with sleeping, I don't struggle going to sleep, I more struggle staying asleep. I wake up so many times throughout the night, and it's because I'm a light sleeper. If I hear any sound outside or any sound around the house, I immediately wake up. So something like this is definitely something I needed, and after trying it for just a couple of days, it's legit. This thing is amazing. There's these little suction cups that go around your eyes, almost like goggles, but they don't press into your eyes. They're nice and cool feeling, and it feels great when you're actually sleeping. Just keeps it snug and in place. Just really a big, soft, comfy headband that goes around your head. This version, which is the sound version, actually has Bluetooth audio, so you can play little sounds while you sleep. Take a listen. This thing has made sleeping so much better, and with summer right around the corner, that means longer days and longer days of sun shining in your face. So you'll definitely want to get this mask because it also blocks out literally not only just sound, but also all light. So use my code Nin10doland7 for a 10% discount on your order of your Manta Sleep Mask. Just click one of the tagged products that appear or the link down below. Also, don't act like you're sleepwalking with it. There's a fan there. But once again, huge thanks to Manta Sleep for sending me an awesome sleep mask and sponsoring today's video. Oh boy, so the world of Nintendo is all over the place right now. I mean, a full video of news for you today. Let's start off with something crazy. The Switch 2 is out there. It seems like some people are getting their hands on the Switch 2 early, and I can confirm someone has already posted a video of them unboxing the thing. A couple people, believe it or not. And these videos seem to be getting taken down from Nintendo. So I'm not trying to get copyright striked or in trouble from Nintendo at all, so I will not be showing any of those here. You can look them up yourselves. They're still probably on Twitter and other social medias. But yeah, the Switch 2 is officially leaked. But there's a thing with it. You can't do anything yet because there's a huge day one patch that you have to download via the internet. Now, I think this is incredibly smart from Nintendo because these users that actually have gotten their Switch 2s early, they can't do anything with them until probably 12:01 on release night, which is pretty smart, honestly, because now they can't, go out and post tons of information on Mario Kart World or, post anything about what else you can do with the Switch 2 menus and the settings and the store and all that. It's all locked. So yeah, they can turn on the console, but that's really about it. Some people are upset about this. One, because this is the first console ever where you'll literally need an internet connection in order to play the thing because you need that day one patch. Is a huge, massive patch for some reason. Probably just because, like I just said, to prevent from leakers showing things when they're not supposed to. And also, people are worried that Nintendo can just flip a switch and turn your Switch 2 off that you're paying $450 for, plus tax. I understand that. Yeah, that is kind of worrisome, but that would never happen. Nintendo's not just going to turn your consoles off or, brick your consoles or anything like that. I just think it's just a safety measure when it comes to leaked stuff, and I think it's actually pretty smart. As you can see, it would be absolutely horrible if, someone was just going online, showing off everything about the console, maybe even getting into Mario Kart World somehow. A lot of people would be upset. I mean, we're still 7 days away. It's way too early for stuff like that to be happening. I want everybody to be able to experience the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World all together at the same time. But what am I talking about Nintendo's doing something special that they've never done before this summer? Well, it looks like they're actually finally going to be a part of Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. They have never been a part of this thing. They just completely ignore this. Ever since E3 canceled, they just do their own show and move on. But it looks like Nintendo's going to have something here. You'll actually notice that Nintendo's logo is among the other companies like PlayStation, Xbox, Sega, Steam, that's actually listed here. And it's funny because it's not just Nintendo, it's the Switch 2. It's just specifically the Nintendo Switch 2, which is strange. A lot of people think that maybe this is just Nintendo showing off some third-party games coming to the Switch 2, or maybe some of those games getting announced are going to be available to be played on Switch 2, and that's why. But honestly, I think it might also mean they might show some reveals of certain things here. Maybe there's a game that they actually want to show some more information about. Maybe there's something that they just want to get highlighted just to advertise it a little bit more, like a big holiday game this year or something, which then leads me to my next point. The Pokemon Company came out and announced that there's a Pokemon Present scheduled for July 22nd. That's like a very long time, like 2 months away from now, which is very strange for a Pokemon Presents. Now, maybe this is a very big one where they actually want to focus on, the upcoming games, like for instance, Pokemon Legends ZA, which they already have a lot of information out about. So maybe there's some big things coming for Switch 2 that they want to talk about, Switch 2 exclusive Pokemon games like the next gen that they want to tease, because once again, this is the first year of Switch 2. This is, the time to kind of blow out all your Pokemon Switch 2 plans for maybe the year that follows and stuff. So maybe that's what this is for, but yeah, they're planning it all the way out in July, which we can pretty much already say, rumors aside, which are already saying there's a direct happening in June, we probably will get a main first-party Nintendo Switch General Direct in June. That way, the next month in July, we'll have the Pokemon Presents. But they actually dropped the release date for Pokemon Legends ZA, which states it arrives on October 16th of 2025, which is actually earlier than I was thinking. I think a lot of us were expecting it to be around the month of November, where they normally go for their main gen Pokemon game releases. But no, October it is, which then makes us all wonder, what's the November game? Is there a bigger game coming in the month of November? Is Nintendo planning for a huge holiday game? I see a lot of people trying to decide what games will be slapped into that like September and November timeframe, and it's hard to say. I think November would still be something that's like really massive for Nintendo. It could be in the month of September, I don't know. Personally, I just think November gives them enough time to announce it in June and have, lots of marketing leading up to its big release in November. I really don't see it being Hyrule Warriors. I just don't think that game is big enough to be a Switch 2 holiday title. I really don't. I mean, it's the third Hyrule Warriors games. I love them all. They're my babies. I love Hyrule Warriors. But still, I don't think a third Hyrule Warriors is going to sell that well for a Switch 2 exclusive title. As somebody that grew up with Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube, I don't think Kirby Air Riders is enough to be a big holiday game for Nintendo either. Considering the fact that Mario Kart is their big kart racer, this is almost competing with Mario Kart in a way, which is still very confusing to me how this game came out this year with Mario Kart. I know it's not the same. I know they're very different games, but still, to a lot of, casual consumers, they're going to see this as another kart racer. Which one do I buy? Especially when Mario Kart is $80 and it's Mario Kart. Most people are just going to swarm and flock to that game. So no, I don't think Kirby Air Riders is going to be the big holiday game either. And I still don't know if Metroid Prime 4 would be enough to be, a huge, stellar, holiday title for Switch 2. I do think it's going to be a very big deal for Nintendo, but the fact that it's not a Switch 2 exclusive hurts its chances at being a big holiday game, because why are people going out buying Switch 2s for Metroid Prime 4 this holiday when you can play the game on the Switch 1? You know what I mean? So to me, there has to be some type of special, really big Switch 2 game that we haven't told us about, that they'll probably announce in the June Nintendo Direct, like Luigi's Mansion 4, maybe even the next 3D Mario. I doubt that one. That one's probably still on hold for a while. But something else has to be coming this holiday, I would imagine. But if not, it is a pretty full slated year so far, so I get it, but still, I'm really hoping for something else, like one huge holiday game still from Nintendo. With them appearing in Summer Game Fest in some capacity this year, and the fact that they'll be at Gamescom this year, I really do think that there's something that Nintendo was planning and gearing up for. I just don't know what yet. Here's some more information about how screenshots and videos will work. Apparently on the Switch 2, they can automatically be uploaded to the app on your smartphone or tablet. And you can have up to 100 files stored up to 30 days. And old files will be automatically deleted once a limit is reached. So that's pretty cool. You get them all sent to your phone and stuff, and you can look through all the clips that you've saved and maybe even save those into a hard drive or something that you want to keep for your special game clips collection. But that's a cool little new feature. And it's confirmed that Game Builder Garage will be able to support the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls, where you can just kind of use the Joy-Con as a mouse, point, aim, click, which just makes so much sense for a game like Game Builder Garage. And what someone brought up is, if this is something that they're talking about with Game Builder Garage and they haven't mentioned this being a functionality for Mario Maker 2, it just straight up tells all of us that Mario Maker 3 has to be coming soon, right? I mean, Nintendo would have clearly added that functionality to Mario Maker 2 if they wanted to support that game in any capacity. It seems like they're moving forward with maybe another Mario Maker in the future. Speaking of mouse controls, Koei Tecmo actually shows off how the mouse can actually be used on a Nintendo Switch 2 system. You don't need to use the right Joy-Con as a mouse, you can use an actual mouse, which is pretty cool. And like I said before, dude, this just means Splatoon 4 is going to be insane. But yes, being able to use an actual mouse, I feel like it's just going to feel a lot better than just that Joy-Con all the time. The Joy-Con's more for convenience, but if you want to have kind of a table setup, you can have one for games like Mario Maker 3 where you can point, click, drag, even Splatoon 4, or just, navigating the eShop. Maybe you can even connect a, keyboard. Eventually Nintendo could have their own keyboard or something like that. It's hard to say, but yes, it looks like Nintendo is integrating kind of that PC functionality into Switch 2, which I actually like, but it's just going to mean, tougher competition with specific games. Now, since Switch 2 is right around the corner, a lot of you are probably eager to find out how you're going to transfer your data. Now, there's two methods here. Nintendo actually added a new method where right now you can actually upload all your Switch 1 save data to a cloud. You just go to System Transfer to Nintendo Switch 2 and you can send it all up into the cloud, so that way when you get your new Switch 2 and unbox it, you can just dump everything from the cloud straight to the Switch 2. And the only issue with this is that you'll be erasing and formatting everything from the Switch 1. So only do this if you absolutely don't want anything else on your Switch 1 and you just want to, reset it back to factory default. Now, if you're like me and probably want to keep everything on that Switch 1 still and your Switch 2, you probably don't want to do this method. You're simply just going to transfer everything from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2 with both consoles plugged in and walk through the steps like that. So it's up to you. I mean, if you want to get a jump start and you're not going to use your Switch 1 or you're going to sell it, maybe a couple days before, going to get your Switch 2, you actually upload everything to the cloud. Then you can go trade in your Switch 1, buy your Switch 2, and dump everything on that console. Now, you have a year to actually dump everything onto your Switch 2 if you just leave all your stuff sitting in the cloud for a year. Past the year, it will actually get rid of everything. It'll delete all your save data. So you definitely don't want that to happen. Make sure you immediately just dump everything to your new console when you get it, so that way you don't forget. But this is a cool little thing from Nintendo that you could do early if you want to take that route. But like I said, personally, I'm just going to keep everything on my Switch 1 and just dump everything from 1 to 2, so that way I can just keep all my Switches that I have with all the save data. So I don't know, it's easier that way to me. Plus, I am not entirely sure if I trust Nintendo's cloud system to work right. I don't know, I feel like I do that and somehow would just like be losing data on some games. Like I'll start Splatoon 3 up and it'll be like, oh, you've never played this game. I don't know, I have like a weird irrational fear of that. I don't trust the cloud, but that's up to you. And last but not least, Nintendo is once again being crazy Nintendo, because before you were able to actually screenshot or record any of the Nintendo Today videos or pictures that they posted, where now you can screen record the menu, but as soon as you click on a picture or a video, it'll actually just go black and they prevent you from screen recording and, saving anything from the app, which is just stupid. But if you really want to capture this, I'm sure there's multiple ways you can do this. For instance, Paperboy on Twitter shows off this way that actually helped me out for my videos, where if you're on Apple products, you can actually just go to the iPhone mirroring app on your either laptop or your actual Mac computer. And what this does is allow you to control and mirror your phone on the screen, which is pretty cool. You can control everything with your mouse on your actual Mac or whatever, and all you have to do is use something like OBS, where you then just screen record that screen. So yeah, there's a lot of steps going on there, but still, it is a workaround, but it's just so silly that Nintendo does these things. Clearly, it's definitely because Nintendo doesn't want us, finding out these videos or pictures from other content creators, posting them. Instead, they want you to use their app, but yeah, it kind of prevents me from posting anything about it or getting people to use the app, because honestly, if I didn't see people posting videos about some of this cool stuff, I wouldn't have even been checking the app in the first place. But yep, it's just Nintendo being Nintendo again and just preventing us from doing just simple things. But yeah, as you can tell, things are heating up for Nintendo, and of course Switch 2 and Mario Kart World hype. We are very close to Mario Kart World, Switch 2, probably a June Nintendo Direct, Donkey Kong Bonanza in July, and also all those Switch 2 edition games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party Jamboree, and even Kirby and the Forgotten Land. There's just so much to be excited for. So let me know in the comments down below, what are you most excited for and looking forward to the most for Nintendo Switch 2 in 7 days? Are you excited about Mario Kart World the most for the actual console, for Donkey Kong, maybe for another game like one of those Switch 2 edition games, something else coming out this year, or maybe something that's not even announced yet, like maybe a big holiday game that you want to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It helps out way more than you think, and I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you all on the next one. 7 days, guys. We are almost there. See ya.